How is it going, my heroes, my villains, and everybody in between? Sean Ross here, and welcome back, guys, to another live reaction to My Hero Academia. And this right here is the final chapter of 2020. It has been an amazing year for MHA, where we've had so many fantastic moments. And I'm hoping we can end this year strong with chapter 295, entitled Tenacious.
I have a goal that my body wasn't made for, and there was a point when I'd completely given up on it. But for everyone who's cheered me on, for everyone who's acknowledged me, I'll become a hero! A hero who saves everybody!
And I feel like that title, Tenacious, can definitely be applied to every character that has been in this arc thus far. But coming off of last week's chapter, it can definitely be applied to Mr. Compress, because our boy is finally doing something in this arc, and he's trying to escape with all of the League. And he kicked it off by compressing a section of his body so he can escape Best Jeanist's threads, and then grabbed every League member, compressed them down, and is currently conducting his final performance as he tries to escape.
One last bow, and then the curtain falls. We should perform the finale here.
But I am hoping this isn't actually Compress's final performance, because we just started to get his backstory. We learned that he's related to OG Harima, and we finally got to see the good looks behind the mask. But going into this chapter, Compress has a plan to escape, and he's utilizing Spinner and Shigaraki to conduct this performance. So I'm excited to see what this plan is, and whether or not our villains are going to be able to escape this situation. I'm excited, and I am hyped, so mount, ladies and gentle criminals. Without further ado, let's dive right into chapter 295. Yo, here we go. First page of the chapter, and we are starting things off with seeing Deku right here, just lying on the ground with this dazed look on his face. I am amazed that our boy is still conscious after all of the pain he has put his body through. It is honestly impressive. But in Deku's mind, there's just a voice telling him to wake up. Wake up.
Hello, wake up. You, yeah, wake up. I said wake up!
Hey, wake up. Hey!
Get your ass up!
And then Deku panics, sits up straight with his broken arms just dangling at his side, and he's just like, huh? What the hell happened? I blacked out. Dabi's heat blast knocked me back. I fell, and then, where's Todoroki? And now he's just looking around to make sure that Shoto's okay.
Here I am.
And Deku looks off to his side, and you can see Shoto there, who is still smoking and steaming after receiving that jet burn attack from Toya. And Deku says, there, whew, he's alive.
What's up, danger?
Oh, and we have this lightning bolt effect coming back over Deku. It happened again. That same stabbing sensation in my head. Could it be Danger Sense? All Might had notes about this. It was the Force Quirk. Yo! So that's what it was. Deku unlocked the fourth user's quirk. Back in that moment, he unknowingly unlocked another quirk, which is basically Spider Sense.
My spider senses are starting to tingle.
Like, what's up, danger? Like, what's up, danger?
I thought I was the only one. You're like me.
Okay, that makes sense with that moment a few chapters ago when Machia was breaking free from Best Jeanist's threads. Deku could sense the danger in that moment from Machia, and then you had the lightning bolt effect. And what's interesting to note is like the lightning bolt effect kind of resembles the markings on the fourth user's face.
Identical.
But I haven't done any training with this one yet, so it just sort of burst out like Black Whip. My head's killing me. This one takes a huge toll. Hard to stay conscious. Yeah, that actually makes sense because he did training with Float prior to it awakening, so he kind of knew the sensation he would feel once the quirk awakened, but he did no training for danger sense, so right now, just the throbbing pain in his head telling him that danger is near, it's affecting him hard because he did no training to prepare for this moment, to prepare for the quirk unlocking.
I'll defeat you!
And now we transition over to my boy Mirio in hot pursuit of Compress, Spinner, and Shigaraki. The curtain rises on the first and final escape artist performance of Mr. Compress.
Look at this dude.
Yo, look at Compress in this panel right here. He looks ridiculous, as I'm guessing he's charging at Mirio right here. As you just see blood gushing from his wound, he looks so ridiculous. I'm guessing he's trying to bide some time for Spinner to wake up Shigaraki, but I don't think Compress is gonna last very long.
We should perform the finale here.
Ultimate move!
Aw, he's all tuckered out.
Nope, not at all. And we just see Mirio tackling Compress. He's like, no, you are not getting in my way. And then just the face on Compress. He is in so much pain and agony, combining the gouge in the side of his body with Mirio's tackle. Huh. At least give me a moment to unleash my disembodied buttocks in your general direction.
What?
What?
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
What kind of piece of dialogue is that? Give me a moment to unleash my disembodied buttocks in your general direction. That sounds like a Monty Python piece of dialogue.
Go and boil your bottom, sons of a silly person. I fart in your general direction. Your mother was a hamster, and your father smelt of elderberries.
I thought in your general direction. If throwing your compressed, disembodied buttocks at Mirio makes you happy, Compress, you do you. We're not gonna judge. But then it looks like we're having a little bit of a flashback when Compress was on top of the charging Machia and just seeing the battlefield in the distance. Upon arrival, I spotted a large gathering of Nomu in the distance. Since Nomu follow Shigaraki's orders, it stands to reason that he could control them if he woke up again. But he's fading in and out of consciousness, not entirely lucid. If we can rouse him properly, he can command the Nomu to engineer a turnabout. I had to buy time for Shigaraki and Spinner. Oh, look at this panel shot right here showing Spinner and Shigaraki within the marble. So they can still move around within the compressed state because Spinner is just taking off the threads of an unconscious Shigaraki within the marble. That's interesting.
Help me!
No, but Compress looks like he's about to pass out from the pain right here, as you just see more blood gushing from his wound as well as his mouth. No more magic tricks up my sleeves. The plan is in their hands and the hands of fate itself. I could only provide time and a diversion. Once more, I snuck Dobby into the folds of your scarf.
Look!
Yeah, you can see Dobby's marble within Spinner's scarf right there. But what did he do with Skeptics? Did he just completely forget about Skeptic? What did he do with that marble?
Have you seen this man?
There you have it, boys. Case closed.
Cooler weather.
And Mirio, still holding on to Mr. Compress, is just lunging towards Spinner and Shigaraki. So please, Spinner, you are Shigaraki's most devoted follower. I am merely the assistant, while you two are the main act. Yo, the design of these panel shots right here. The circle of them kind of reminds me of like the marble that they're compressed in.
All these squares make a circle. All these squares make a circle. All these squares make a circle. All these squares make a circle.
There was no guarantee here.
Look!
When I have the whole family on me, I feel so sick that I want to vomit. But I also kind of feel at peace. It's weird.
Hello there.
Yo, Spinner noticed Shigaraki's hand in his pocket.
All I can tell y'all is that it's about to go down.
It's a little burnt up and scorched, but he noticed it. And he's thinking back to what Shigaraki said at the beginning of My Villain Academia when they were talking to the doctor. Inside your beaten up, half-melted suit, I spotted that thing all burned and squashed. It's like there's a lump of lead deep down in my heart, providing an endless source of rage that bursts out. If only you'd remember that rage. Yo! And Spinner took out the hand and he is placing it on Shigaraki's face. It's waking him up. You can see his eyes opening as the hand is placed on his head. It's the trigger. The hand is triggering Shigaraki's awakening right now, thanks to Spinner.
Know my power.
Yo, double page spread. And you just see a shockwave emanating from Machia's back and going in every direction.
Air cannon plus spring-like limbs. Kinetic booster ×4. Strength enhancer ×3. What a delightful combination. Maybe a few more enhancers next time.
Shigaraki's awake now. Thanks to Spinner, Shigaraki is now awake.
Yes, but actually no.
But the shockwave kind of resembles when he did like radio waves chapters back. Like it's air cannon combined with radio waves, it looks like, because of the static in the shockwave right here. But it's going in every direction. And you can see the near high ends, they stop what they're doing and they look in Shigaraki's direction. Look. But this Nomu right here looks like it has a butthole for a mouth. Yo, the Nomus are about to move. But all of the heroes around Shigaraki are being pushed back. Mirio, who is still holding on to Compress, Best Jeanist, Nejire, Ida, Bakugo is just flying backwards. Endeavor, Shoto trying to stand his ground. And then Spinner looks and sees Shigaraki standing back up. Yo, he found himself some truly decent allies.
I am here for you.
Yo, is this All For One speaking right here? Heart is power. And the more fiercely he embraces that source in his heart, the more my consciousness takes hold in our little symbiotic relationship. Yo!
You must stay sharp, Tomura. You must grow and improve. You will become my successor.
No. Go away. Disappear.
Don't worry. I am here for you. Now then, shall we begin?
It was not Shigaraki awakening. It was All For One. All For One has taken control. He's the one that produced that shockwave. So is Shigaraki like too beat up and just low on stamina to where he can't really take control? Was All For One actually able to take full control of Shigaraki right here?
I'm back, bitches!
I love this panel shot right here. The full panel page shot of just All For One's face appearing on Shigaraki's, peering through the hand, and just all these dark cracks spreading over Shigaraki's body. This is an awesome panel shot. Never let that hatred die, Tomura. And he's going full on Palpatine, the Emperor, in this moment, like, use your aggressive feelings, Tomura. Let the hate flow through you.
Use your aggressive feelings, boy. Let the hate flow through you. Get out of my head! Leave my brain alone!
Never!
All For One is hijacking Shigaraki's body and taking it for a spin, for a joyride. Let's go.
Come.
And there you go. The Nomu are leaving the battlefield. The Nomu are on the move. These radio waves can be used as signals to give the Nomu very specific commands. It's not something Tomura can necessarily achieve. given that he's still incubating. So All For One sent a message within the radio waves that only the Nomu could hear and interpret. Oh, that's smart. That is really, really smart. Plus, it makes sense that Shigaraki wouldn't be able to realize that because he's still learning how to use all these powers. All For One has all the cheat codes, and he's like, oh, these powers? I got these memorized by heart. And there you just see Ida and Nejire trying to fight and trying to keep these Nomus here, and they're like, whoa! And then Mirio sliding back, placing Compress down on the ground, and then Spinner, hang on, Shigaraki! What about Compress and Machia? Toga's out there too. Enough, Iguchi. Tomura has lost. To One For All and Endeavor.
Sayonara, bitches!
Yo, they are just booking it out of here. All of those near high ends are grabbing Spinner and All For One Shigaraki right now. They're leaving the battlefield. They're escaping. It's only right that he pays for that loss. He just has that evil grin underneath the hand. All for my sake.
A moment of hesitation could decide the fight. We can't let these villains try anything.
Quick thinking. Consider me impressed.
And we just see Best Jeanist sending his threads after them, screaming, Dobby's with them too. Then we got Nejire looking at Ida. Hello. Ida with his Recipro burst running after them. Bakugo's just unconscious on the ground. Don't let them get away. And then Mirio and Shoto are trying to run after them. Endeavor bleeding from his mouth, trying to get back up.
Get over here!
Yo, double page spread, and Deku is right there to intercept All For One / Shiggy.
Open your mouth!
I won't let you have your way!
Izuku Midoriya!
Shut the fuck up!
His body is just flailing in the wind as he's trying to hold on. He used that black whip from his mouth again to hold on to those Nomus to get back to Shigaraki. Yo. Oh, worthless Izuku Midoriya. When this body is perfected, we shall meet again. You shut your mouth, All For One. Deku's not having All For One shit right here. It's like, I'm coming for you. Yes, we shall meet again. And he uses air cannon to push Deku back.
Sounds like you've got your work cut out for you. This will be hard for us both.
Shigaraki, you killed so many of us and hurt countless others. That is unforgivable. It's unforgivable, and yet, wait, mark my words, I will. Back there, when you got swallowed up by All For One, at that moment,
I am here to provide you with help. All of this is for you.
Tomura Shigaraki.
Their bodies moved before they had a chance to think. Almost on their own.
Oh, and then just a pure white panel shot of Deku falling backwards as the Nomus, Spinner, and Shigaraki / All For One they just go back into the distance, escape into the void. They're leaving the battlefield. The battle is basically over at this point. Oh, and Deku with that look on his face, screaming back at Shiggy. The look on your face. Oh, but Best Jeanist tied a thread around one of the Nomus, so they captured one. But Endeavor and Bakugo do not look good in these panels. We see Burnin leading the other heroes and sidekicks to their location, and then just the juxtaposition of Shigaraki with All For One's face with that top panel of Deku's. Just Deku and Shigaraki and All For One staring back at each other face to face. The look on your face. You looked like you needed saving.
Tomura Shigaraki. I don't understand you. I don't agree with anything you do. I want to save people with a smile. I want to be strong so I won't worry people. I want to always win and save everybody. I want to become the greatest. Maybe it was the look on his face. I couldn't just stand there and watch you die!
And we just have a double-page panel shot showing the landscape of the destroyed city, the smoke, the mountains in the background, and the clouds in the sky. Even though Deku cannot forgive what Shigaraki has done, the fact that he saw the look on Shigaraki's face in the vestige world when All For One was taken over, he can't help but feel like he needed saving in that moment. That is the end of this chapter. Next chapter hits January 3rd in 2021.
Tomura Shigaraki, I don't understand you. I don't agree with anything you do, but I do know that this guy doesn't give up. The other heroes and I have come so far to stop you. So that's what I'm gonna do!
So we have basically reached the end of the battle. The arc's not done yet. We still have to deal with the aftermath, but with this last double-page spread with the landscape, I think it's safe to assume that with the villains retreating, this is the end of the battle. And I kind of look forward to seeing what the aftermath is going to give us, because there's a lot to go over with ramifications and consequences of this arc. But it ended in a draw, which I'm glad it did. But with All For One issuing the villain's retreat with the near high ends, they are leaving some key members behind. Machia, Toga, Compress, maybe Skeptic. I don't know where his compressed marble is, but the only villains able to retreat are All For One controlling Shigaraki's body, Spinner, and a compressed Dabi marble, and all these near high ends. And this doesn't even factor in all the other villains and heroes back at the Mountain Villa. It's insane. So we've reached the end, but this ending dialogue from Deku is really interesting and has a lot of layers to it and a lot of parallels too, calling back to when he rushed in to save Bakugo against the sludge monster, but also calling back to when he was in the vestige world with Shigaraki and when he was rushing in to save him in that moment because All For One was taken over. And that's kind of like where the layers come into play here, because he knows that Shigaraki is unforgivable. He cannot forgive Shigaraki for all the things that he's done, the people that he has killed, and the people he has injured. But he saw Shigaraki's face as he was kind of being taken over by All For One, and his face said to him, you look like you needed saving. And he was able to rush in that moment, even though he was a villain, and he was kind of doing that right here. So he's only really rushing in to save Shigaraki from All For One. If he can do that, then he can kind of hold Shigaraki accountable for all the unforgivable actions he has caused. So there's layers to that. By saving Shiggy, he defeats All For One, and then he can deal with giving the punishment that Shigaraki deserves. So hopefully that's the case. There's going to be a lot to unpack with this arc as a whole, and I'm looking forward to seeing how Deku internalizes that and how he's going to push forward, also with the new quirks he's unlocked and just with the aftermath. So with that, guys, that right there is my live reaction to chapter 295 of My Hero Academia. And I believe ending this battle off on the final chapter of 2020 is a great way to cap off the year. But for right now, I definitely want to hear your guys' thoughts on the events of this chapter, your thoughts on Deku activating the fourth user's quirk, Danger Sense, All For One taking full control over Shigaraki's body and issuing the villain's retreat, and lastly, with Deku saying that looking at Shigaraki's face seemed like he was asking for help, asking to be saved in that moment. Leave your thoughts down in the comments below, and feel free to subscribe to the channel and click that bell icon that you guys can be alerted for every new MHA reaction that pops up on the channel. But if you guys want to talk about other things or talk about MHA outside of YouTube, feel free to also follow me over on Twitter. A link to my Twitter account can also be found in the description down below. But that's going to do for me here, guys. So until the new year, in 2021, when we have chapter 296 of My Hero Academia, I'll talk to you guys next time. But remember, go beyond plus ultra.